some years ago. That's gone.
Matt?
That's nowhere near.
Oh, sorry. Matt, whatever happened to Valvoline Instant Oil Change?
Got sold.
They just didn't do anything.
They didn't, well, yeah.
I'm pitching out the plans when I get home. I brought them to ask you. We tabled it about a year ago.
I think they bought a different shop. I know somebody bought Manco Automotive, and I think it might have been Valvoline, but I'm not sure. What's that?
No, I don't think it's a certain threshold.
It's another oil change.
So it's not Valvoline, though? I knew he sold, but I didn't know he sold.
We are recording.
Okay.
Okay, please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Cindy, if you could do a roll call of members, please.
Chair Lorenzo,
Here.
Rebecca Anderson,
Here.
John Copus did ask to be excused, Anthony Gorski,
Here.
Joseph Key,
Here.
Lawrence Kwasinski.
Here.
Michael Wright.
Here. Welcome, everyone. This is a meeting of the Planning Board of the Town of Lancaster. Please keep in mind that we are an advisory and recommending board and not a final decision-making body. The rules of the Planning Board allow us to recognize only the petitioners of the various projects and their representatives. We ask that anyone wishing to make comment do so in writing. Review of the minutes from the January 18th, or I'm sorry, January 4th meeting. Are there any additions or deletions or comments? Look for a motion to accept.
I'll move to approve them as prepared.
Second on that one? Anybody?
Second.
Second, thank you. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Communications list. No comments? All good? Okay, we'll move on. First case First application is the seeker review for MP Carroll Hardwood Executive Offices and Storage Facilities located at 6130 Broadway. Do we have an applicant here to speak?
Good evening.
Hello.
I'm Mike Metzger with Metzger Civil Engineering, 8245 Sheridan Drive, Williamsville, New York. And with me today is my client, Michael Carroll, owner of MP Carroll Hardwood. As most of you know, we've been here numerous times, numerous meetings since middle of last year. We've amended our rezoning application once based upon desires of the planning board and the town board. In mid-November, we made submittal of a site plan to go along with the rezoning request. We've received comments, various comments from departments, town engineer, code enforcement officer, which we've worked through. I think we're in good shape there. Mid-December, town engineer issued a memo accepting the engineering for the project, and actually with that, we're here to request a seeker neg deck rezoning or recommendation for rezoning and recommendation for site plan approval. But we'd be happy to answer any questions that may have popped up since we last were here.
Well, I know that I'm new, so I'll ask one question. Do you know what the status is of the other reviewing agencies? Have you, as far as your seeker?
Seeker, the only comment letter that I'm aware of that came in was from the Department of Environment and Planning. So aside from that, we were not made aware of anything. So, and they basically gave the town some thoughts on open space, which in this particular case we're only developing about an acre of the site, and the balance of it's going to remain open for the foreseeable future, 44 acres. And then they indicated that they had no objection to the town acting as lead agency for seeker.
Mike, where are you with like DOT and county health, county and water authority?
Those are all things that we would do prior to getting a building permit. We have to, obviously we understand we have to get a DOT highway work permit, and then for the septic system we will have to get health department approval, and let's see, what was the other one? Water authority. Water authority is not really an approval, we just apply for a service.
You're putting the backflow preventer in the building?
What's that?
You're putting backflow prevention in the building?
No, ours will be out in front because of the distance back from the right-of-way.
So you have a hot box out front?
Yes.
Okay, so they'll have to approve that?
True.
Yeah.
True, you're right.
Okay.
Yep.
Prior to the meeting, we had a discussion, and I was informed at that point that you often don't see those letters from the agencies, and I don't know if the rest of the board members knew that or not, but I know that was news to me.
Sometimes you'll get comments from the DOT if something jumps out at them during the 30-day comment period. Water Authority for years really didn't do anything, and now we get something from their legal department. Often it just says, you know, it's a local matter, and you have to come to us for a water service. Health department, I very rarely see anything from them. Those are all things that typically you get lined up and in place prior to Mr. Fischone issuing the building permit. He needs to see something from the health department. He'll want to make sure that there's a highway work permit, and also ultimately before the water's turned on, he's got to see something from the water authority. And the water authority will not put a service in until they have already, previously approved the backflow preventer that Mr. Schiller was talking about. So,
Okay, good. Thank you. Any other questions or comments by the board before we move on? No? Then we should probably go through the seeker form. You guys could probably take a seat at this point. It's going to take a while, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So for, let's see here, do I have one?
So, yeah.
Okay. For item number 1, impact on land. Proposed action may involve construction on or physical alteration of the land surface of the proposed site.
We should go through them.
Okay? The proposed action may involve construction on land where depth to water table is less than 3 foot.
Is it like, or do I look it up? I can't.
Seasonally, I believe it is less than 3.
Can't find my phone.
So would we call that a
That would be a
It's
small,
Small,
It's
yep.
small.
proposed action may involve construction on slopes of 15% or greater.
No.
Proposed action may involve construction on land where bedrock is exposed or generally within 5 foot of existing ground surface.
No, it's bedrock.
Proposed action may involve the excavation and removal of more than 1,000 tons of natural material.
no.
Proposed action may involve construction that continues for more than 1 year or in multiple phases. Proposed action may result in increased erosion, whether from physical disturbance or vegetation removal.
That can be mitigated. So there's always a potential of erosion, but if they build it properly with the right controls in place, then we say no.
Proposed action is or may be located within a coastal erosion hazard.
No way.
So on that one, we would say no then, general?
Yeah.
Overall? Okay. Number 2, impact on geological features. The proposed action may result in modification or destruction of or inhibit access to any unique or unusual landforms on the site. No. Number 3, impacts on surface water. Proposed action may affect one or more wetlands or other surface water bodies.
There is a federal wetlands, we should go through the questions.
Okay? Proposed action may create a new water body.
You're not doing detention, are you?
There is
Dry detention.
You're doing dry, right?
So no. Proposed action may result in an increase or decrease of over 10% or more than a 10-acre increase or decrease in the surface area of any body of water.
No.
Proposed action may involve dredging more than 100 cubic yards of material from a wetland or water body.
No.
Proposed action may involve construction within or adjoining a freshwater or tidal wetland or in the bed or banks of any other water body.
No.
Well, wait a minute. They involve construction within or adjoining, they're putting a roadway across a federal wetland, but it's it's less than an acre, so it would not require a permit. So the answer is still no, but at least we've addressed that, we've recognized that there are wetlands on the site. So it's no, but it's just a non-jurisdictional federal wetland. You have to recognize that we need to explain what we're thinking. So we can move on.
Okay.
You ready, Cindy?
The proposed action may create turbidity in a water body, either from upland erosion, runoff, or disturbing bottom sediments.
No.
Proposed action may include construction of one or more intakes for withdrawal of water from surface water. Proposed action may include construction of one or more outfalls for discharge of wastewater to surface water. Proposed action may cause soil erosion or otherwise create a source of stormwater discharge that may lead to siltation or other degradation of receiving water bodies.
Shouldn't darn well better not.
That's right.
Proposed action may affect the water quality of any water bodies within or downstream of the site of the proposed action.
It does, it's a violation, so I'll say no.
Proposed action may involve the application of pesticides or herbicides in or around any water body.
If you use any type of herbicide anywhere on the property, with that small tributary crossing, there's a potential, but we'd say small.
Okay. Proposed action may require the construction of new or expansion of existing wastewater treatment facilities.
No.
So overall, we'll say no on that one. Okay. Number 4, impact on groundwater. Proposed action may result in new or additional use of groundwater or may have the potential to introduce contaminants to groundwater or an aquifer.
No.
No. Number 5, impact on flooding. Proposed action may result in development on lands subject to flooding.
No.
No. Impacts on air. Proposed action may include a state-regulated air emission source.
No.
Number 7, impacts on plants and animals. Proposed action may result in loss of flora or fauna.
It's minor, but we should go through them.
Okay. Proposed action may cause reduction in population or loss of individuals or any threatened or endangered species as listed by New York State or federal government that use the site or are found on, over, or near the site.
All right. I don't think there was anything listed on the... I don't think so.
Page 12,
Hey, Ralph, is that what you want?
about halfway down.
Well, no, I was also looking on the environmental mapper summary, which is where the answer is still no.
Okay? No. The proposed action may result in reduction or degradation of any habitat used by any rare, threatened, or endangered species as listed by New York State or the federal government.
No.
No.
We don't know. See, this is the thing, is that unless you've done a survey of the property, you really don't know. But I'm basing my answers on the fact that it's the 1 acre rezone, and the 1 acre, less than 1 acre being disturbed with buildings. The rest of the property
Staying the way it
is
was.
staying the same. So we need to make sure we realize that we're focusing mostly on the part that's being changed, and the rest of it stays. So if anybody comes back in to do anything on the back, there's gonna have to be some studies done. Because we do have a history of endangered species in Lancaster. So, we're good. So continue.
Okay. Proposed action may cause reduction in population or loss of individuals of any species, special concern, or conservation need as listed by New York State or the federal government that use the site or are found on, over, or near the site.
No, not identified.
Proposed action may result in reduction or degradation of any habitat used by any species of special concern and conservation need as listed by New York State or the federal government.
No, nothing identified.
So we'll call that a no again?
So no, but thanks for going through.
No problem.
There's more.
Oh, there is?
We're missing, yeah, we're missing the other half. E.
Top.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yep, wrong. So we're going to hold off on that then. E, the proposed action may diminish the capacity of a registered natural landmark to support the biological community it was established to protect. The proposed action may result in removal of or groundwater disturbance in any portion of a designated significant natural community. The proposed action may substantially interfere with nesting, breeding, foraging, or overwintering habitat for the predominant species that occupy or use the project site.
Only on the parts that are being disturbed. So it's no, it's a small but no.
Okay? Proposed action requires a conservation, or conversion, sorry about that, conversion of more than 10 acres of forest, grassland, or any other regionally or locally important habitat.
No.
Proposed action involves use of herbicides or pesticides.
Does it?
Mike, do you plan on using anything to kill weeds or anything like that?
Well, on Genesee Street, we don't use anything, so I'm probably gonna start that way. See how it looks. I'm happy with my Genesee Street property. Our landscaper cuts the grass and doesn't put anything on it.
Then we'll say, it would be a no.
No, we're small.
It was no, no.
Okay. So overall, we'll say no for 7 then?
Yes.
Okay. Number 8, impact on agricultural resources. The proposed action may impact agricultural resources.
The whole back side is still AR, isn't it?
Correct.
Yes.
So I think the overall answer is no.
So the overall answer is no, because we are impacting 1 acre, right?
Yes, yeah, you handled that through the rezoning by asking us to scale it back.
Right.
That's the story there.
So the answer would be overall no. with
Okay.
Perhaps a note that the impact is limited to 1 acre of frontage by the road for the commercial, commercial use only.
Okay.
And there's still, is it 43 acres left?
Yes.
Yeah, there's still 43 acres zoned AR. So we could say no.
Okay. Number 9, impact on aesthetic resources. The land use of the proposed action are obviously different from or are in sharp contrast to current land use patterns between the proposed project and a scenic or aesthetic resource.
Overall, no.
No.
No. Number 10, impact on historic and archaeological resources. The proposed action may occur in or adjacent to a historic or archaeological resource.
They said no on this one.
Overall, no?
I'd say no.
Little hint, when you're going through these things, at least we in our office, we use the DEC automated system for
Right.
filling out the EAF.
Right.
And a lot of these questions are automatically filled in. We can't even override it if we wanted to.
Right,
So the back 2 pages of the part 2 of the EAF has
Has yours?
problem
has
13.
a lot of these.
Yeah, it's the so-called circles and squares map,
Right.
and it's no all the way
Nothing
down
flat.
through. It's no all the way through.
Okay.
So when you go through this, you have to have both forms in here. You have to have what they've submitted to us, and unless we found something we disagreed with, that's where the answers are. So we're not just making these up. These have been researched off the DEC website.
Okay.
So, no.
Okay. 11, impact on open space and recreation. Proposed action may result in the loss of recreational opportunities or reduction of open space resource as designated in any adopted municipal open space plan. No.
It's no.
Impact on critical environmental areas, we don't have any, right? No. Impact on transportation. Proposed action may result in a change to existing transportation systems.
No.
No. Impact on energy. Proposed action may cause an increase in the use of any form of energy.
It's minor, small, it's no.
No. Impact on noise, odor, and light. Proposed action may result in an increase in noise, odors, or outdoor lighting.
Is there outdoor lighting?
Just security lighting in the building over the doors?
Little pack lights that point down?
Yes.
It's very minor. There's no lights there at all now. They would be, how many doors? 4?
What do we got? Two man doors, Mike?
And then a little garage door?
Right.
There's 3 man doors and 3 garage doors.
Okay, no.
No.
If you read through the questions real quick, you'll see we don't need any thresholds.
Okay. 16, impact on human health. Proposed action may have an impact on human health from exposure to new or existing sources of contaminants.
No.
No.
17, consistency with community plans. The proposed action is not consistent with adopted land use plans.
Well, it's a rezone.
But only 1 acre.
Hmm?
But only 1 acre.
But it's only 1 acre. But still, it's, the open space is part of the discussion in the open space plan and the comprehensive plan, that's staying that way. But it's basically an overall no. It's not consistent. It is consistent, so it's a double negative.
So we'll say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Consistency with community character. Proposed project is inconsistent with the existing community character.
No.
Okay, I think I'll look for a motion at this point, right?
I'll make a motion for a negative declaration.
Okay.
Seeker.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. So next, we would do the rezone. Rezone.
Yes.
Okay, and at that point,
Yeah,
okay,
I'm just making notes.
okay. I think we just look for a motion at this point, right? Or rezone? Oh, together? Yeah. I think that at this point, we should put them both together, site plan review and rezone.
I think we should vote independently. There might be, are there any other questions left on site plan?
I don't have any questions.
No, nothing else. We usually just go through the process. We just voted for a neg deck on seeker, and we should do the rezone and then, is it site plan first or rezone? It's site plan first. It's rezone.
Rezone first, yeah.
Yeah.
You do have them as separate items on the agenda.
We do.
We do, yeah, we
And
had talked about trying to combine them,
Well,
but we're not going to.
we should actually vote separately, so we make it line items in the minutes, so that we make it clear that we addressed everything.
Yeah. It'll be 3 separate.
3? Okay, okay. Matt, I think we're gonna start with the rezone. Is there anything that you wanna comment on for us?
It's not zoned properly as it stands tonight.
Okay. Councilmember Mazer? Nothing. Emily?
That's the 1 acre, it's, they met, I
3.7.
think that they met with or talked to some of the town board members about this petition or things.
Okay. Look for a motion then to rezone?
I'll make a motion that we accept the rezone as submitted.
I'll second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So now we move on to site plan. Mike, is there anything you want to add before we move forward?
No, I think we covered everything.
Okay. Matt, anything to add?
All the information from the November 23rd letter was responded to. We were given all the drawings. Limits of disturbance were scaled back to meet the erosion and sediment control plan. How do you gauge that? 1.97 acres. 0.3 acres is a bulldozer blade by 50 feet long.
Okay, good.
When we issue PIPs, perhaps the perimeter is identified, silt fences installed around the perimeter, identify the limits of disturbance, and just make sure everybody understands you will go beyond or you will get a stormwater permit.
Great.
We can definitely commit to making sure that the erosion control silt fence or silt sockets in place before they start pushing the ground.
Okay. Anything else, Matt? Okay. Councilmember Mazer?
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Lastly, were there any covenants necessary for the project? Do we need post-construction and the stormwater? I mean, we don't have a permit, but...
Yeah, there'll still be a stormwater management agreement.
Yeah, the management agreement, I don't know if we have that in draft form yet, or...
No, it'll be required to be finalized and filed prior to town board approval. For site plan approval. Yeah, the town board could go ahead with seeker and rezone, but for site
We have a
plan,
draft? We don't have a draft yet, right?
I've not seen one.
We haven't put one together, we didn't know.
No, typically the attorney's office would send it out.
He said it was taken care of. Yeah.
We'll send it out then.
We'll get it right on that as soon as we get it.
Okay.
Matt, anything else? Councilmember Mazer? Emily?
Oh,
Oh.
I'm sorry. Just that the site plan will not be until that all the paperwork is in.
Mm-hmm.
There won't be a resolution for that until that's taken care of.
Okay. I have nothing else.
Are you good with that?
Yeah.
Any questions or comments from the board after all that exchange? No? Look for a motion then?
I'll move we approve the site plan as submitted. It's been submitted over and over again. They've been more than compliant with the requests, including rezoning that small parcel.
Okay. Second for anybody?
Second.
Second, Mr. Gorski, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you all. Good job, Mike.
Keep your eyes out for kestrels, and there's a lot of bird life out there. It's not been documented, but I see them all over town. Kestrels like wetlands.
Or just.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
typically, I'll have to submit, I got no answer. I have to submit.
Sounds like he'll take care of them though.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not gonna do anything.
Standard.
Normally goes out maybe
I mean, it's gonna
It's a standard
remain,
agreement.
so-
Yeah, it's a standard agreement, and they could put in the name of the project.
So the next item on the agenda is the
Yeah.
seeker review and then the amended site plan for Tool Ranch. The applicant has asked to be taken off of this agenda. Question, I guess, Matt, we'd ask you is, should we open the seeker? At one point, we had talked at the last meeting about the 30 days, and we were concerned about the 30 days, so do you think it's necessary for us to open at seeker at this point?
If you're prepared to open it, I know this is unlisted. If you're prepared to go through it, you can open it.
Night.
Yeah.
Council can chime in, just for legalities.
I mean, where are they at with the project right now?
It's, as far as with the project, they need
Yeah.
to amend some smaller details. Again, they're gonna manipulate the limits of disturbance to get out of the stormwater permit requirement.
Okay.
And some fine tuning and resubmitting those drawings. But as far as the time frame from the referral, the law's clear.
Yeah, I mean, we should open and see for them.
I have a question, Matt. Did they ever
They will-
submit a landscaping plan?
They want-
Yeah.
You had requested one, but I don't remember seeing it.
Well, as part of their amended plan, they're supposed to resubmit.
Okay, so you have not
We
received.
haven't received anything, which is why they had asked to have that portion of it adjourned until they can get that documentation in.
Oh, then we can-
I'm going to inquire, because they made applications to this board for the review because of the violation, and this is a state enforcement. And the further we drag this thing along, I mean, at one point, the or not, they have the fence enclosure already in, they have stockpile materials in there, and we don't have that final approval with an open violation. It's gonna end up like every other project we have in town that just becomes non-conforming because they're finalized. If I had my preference, I'd open seeker, schedule it for the next available, and let's get this done.
They just has to be taken off the agenda tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we have short form?
Yeah, we have the short form. Yep, we can go through the short form. And we'll do our best. If we can't answer them, we'll have to table it, right? I'll have to look. I'm sure I have it somewhere.
That's okay.
Okay. Here, I have one. That's the short form.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
So I couldn't find the initial submission by this tool ranch, and it's been around for a while. Is it strictly a new gravel parking lot? Is that descriptive enough for what we're doing here?
There's a parking area fenced in and some drainage. And we're going to utilize a portion of it for on-site sale of product.
Sale of what?
Product.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so you're asking whether or not to install new gravel parking lot is descriptive enough?
Yeah.
Application.
That's all they said, install new gravel parking lot.
All right. Okay, we'll go through this and see what we can do. Will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulations? No. Will the proposed action result in change in the use or intensity of use of land?
No, it's already an existing store. Yeah.
Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community? No. We don't have a CR or CEA, right? So that's a no. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change in existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkway?
No.
Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities?
No.
Will the proposed action impact existing public or private water supplies,
No.
public or private wastewater treatment utilities? No. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources?
No.
No.
Will the proposed action result in adverse change to natural resources?
No.
Will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems?
That's what they're addressing. They haven't resubmitted yet. Because landscaping goes to that too.
Pardon?
Landscaping addresses that too.
Well, we wouldn't know yet.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
maybe
We don't have that
should-
information.
Should we
should
leave that
this
open? Leave that one
because-
open?
Yeah, because we have to table this.
Okay, we'll leave that open. And will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health?
Well, actually, 9 and 10 should be. Do we have the final drainage plans?
No, that's what they're modifying. They're
So
tweaking.
9 and 10 are open.
And then we'll need a motion to table, right?
Yep. So I can have a motion
Okay.
to table.
Motion to table. Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion will be tabled.
Should we table the amended site plan review, too? Or is that?
Yeah, we can't,
Right,
we can't do this like that.
So I move to,
It's not on the agenda, though.
Yeah, it
We
is.
can't do it, seeker is not satisfied.
right.
So,
So we'll have to table that one too, right?
Well,
The second one?
it's,
Well, wait a minute, what are we tabling if they asked to be off the agenda?
we're tabling just the seeker, we needed to open.
I know,
seeker.
but he asked about site plan.
Oh, we can't go there. We can't even address that. thing.
You can't table it?
No, we received their request of not having it heard.
Oh.
Nothing to review, they have
Nothing to
some
review.
resubmitted their documents.
Right.
Okay.
That's just off the agenda.
Okay. And then, oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, how do we notify them that we need more information under seeker? They have to supply it. We don't go scratching around looking for information. They have to tell us.
Well, when they resubmit their plans, we should have those answers, right?
So we just have
Yeah,
to go find out.
supposedly.
Okay.
Good.
You're right. You're right. So table until resubmittal of plans that answer questions 9 and 10.
Okay. And then the last item on the agenda was a site plan review for Edgewater East. And I believe that they were tabled?
They requested.
Or requested to be removed.
February 1st. Yeah, it's in the letter that was sent.
Right.
So if you don't mind my asking, did you receive that letter as well as the wetlands information for this project that was just recommended? I was able to send that next week to you. They were Friday.
You sent one
I
today,
think so,
too.
yeah.
You sent something today,
Yeah.
also. But yes.
The wetland letter is, the wetland letter was on the communication.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Any other board members have any other topics for discussion? Any board members, sorry. Matt, anything from you?
Anybody have a chance to rewind those videos? The county referral, planning board overview.
I didn't.
I learned a lot.
No, but I reviewed
There's
some.
3 of them. There's the county referral, seeker, and planning board overview. Tonight is actually zoning board. Should wrap it up in about 20 minutes.
I reviewed some notes from when Mr. Malcolm came in.
This is nice because it's the actual video.
Okay.
And, you kind of go back and forth and pick up on the highlights. There's, I think, PowerPoint as well as slides.
And where are they located again?
That flyer that I forwarded to you has like all of
The
the
links,
links.
yeah.
I
Okay.
think it goes back to the legal member, the winter series.
Okay. Anything else? Councilmember Mason?
Just that we are gonna, actually, I'm gonna meet with Matt and Mr. Lorenzo tomorrow, we'll talk about the RV law. We may not be ready for February 1st, depending on with the changes in the legal department, with Lisa leaving and with Tom being on vacation, we're gonna get those changes by February 1st. We may have to push it back. Tom's on vacation for 10 days or something. So we may be a little delayed in that. You're gonna be busy.
Let us know.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
Yeah, I put down that early hour for the first to come in and review it.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
so don't make me sit here for an hour.
We'll let you know if we're first or not. I appreciate your, I
Anything else, Councilmember Mason? Emily? Ed?
No.
I had just one or two things here real quick. I sent an email to everybody, at least I think I did, to everybody, the board members trying to find out whether or not electronic copies will work for anybody, or if paper is just what you prefer. Trying to get some dialogue going on that if I could.
Regarding what, everything?
Anything at all. The town is spending a tremendous amount of money sending out all this documentation, and each individual board member is also spending a lot of time with massive amount of paper. I know that I've only scratched the surface of paper that you all have, and I can't imagine once I get it all what I'm going to do with it all. And so I was just wondering if everybody needs to see paper for everything every time we get something, or if electronic initially would suffice until you're able to grab paper and just, grab it at the meeting.
I can't see anything on the computer. I just can't.
Okay.
I just can't see anything. I mean, if I had a stack of plans like this that came to me, by the time I figured out which page was the page I wanted to look at, I'd be lost.
Okay.
And here's the other thing, just so you remember, the town isn't paying. The applicant is paying. They pay a substantial fee for the purpose of supplying this with. They have to supply the plans. And the postage for mailing these things out comes out of those fees. So I used to worry about it as much as you're saying. I used to, my God, the taxpayers are, funding this. They're not. That's the fee schedule.
Well, it may be beneficial to review the application form that we have to incorporate an electronic copy, because the referral program is going digital.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be able to forward that information to the county through the electronic document, and that will have to be supplied by the applicant, and that will perhaps reduce the amount of copies. Remember, it's 31,
right.
32 for transit road. I don't know why it's specifically for transit road, but the directions are clear. 32 if the project is on transit road. I'm only assuming it's because it's a state highway. We've got 3 more state highways that run through town.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what that's all about, but I believe DOT is accepting the digital copies as well. Most of the upper government agencies are going there.
I would think for the sake of your office, you should be getting electronic anyways, so you don't have to file. You don't have to keep all this paper.
Well, we do have to keep record. I prefer to store it electronically.
Right.
It's a lot less space.
Right, that's my point, yeah.
And it's easily retrievable years down the road. We can access it.
As long as the server doesn't crash, you're good.
It's remote storage.
It's readily available too. It's a lot quicker. You don't have to, you can get to it a lot faster than you can going through the paper.
So again, it's looking over both of the applications for site plan and subdivision. Subdivision definitely has to be updated because it's still under the old Chapter 50 code from 2000. A lot of the references in the new chapter sections are not addressed, nor are some of the design standards, which is now codified. So it's going to be able to, we need to do that.
The more reason for a planning staff to be placed in your office. A person be hired to be in your, wherever, whether it's your office or where else, part-time planner can review standards.
I suppose if there was a way that would be nice, because there's some project that we've done here that I haven't been on here for, and same with you, that you're gonna come up, there's gonna be a project, and you may have plans sitting in your desk from a year ago that we may need, that I don't have, or you don't have. If you could send it to us saying electronically, say, hey, this is gonna be everything you're gonna need to see for this project, if it was months.
I don't mind getting them electronically, I just can't see it.
There is some conversation ongoing about setting up a share file system for the town so that the stuff gets deposited in one place and anybody can access it. Instead of you having it on your system and Lisa has, or Tom has it on his.
Log in and grab your document.
Right.
and-
Right.
There's one place to go to.
Everything for one project to be under one
Yeah.
folder.
Doesn't alleviate the printing cost to the individual when they want to print
Right.
those letters. Or print
Sure.
the agenda, or print the EAFs.
Well, that's a change that one of the, regarding the secret forms, like tonight, you were handed the blanks. That's what's good, we've talked to the attorney's office, and we're gonna do that from going forward. We're not gonna mail you, when there's a secret review, like there was tonight. In the past, you would get a package that had the part one, which you've already gotten, and a blank part two. We said that we were wasting paper and money. The part one you've already got.
Right.
That was given in the initial submittal, and the part two blanks are gonna be handed out to you at the meeting, because it's a blank form.
Yep.
And depending on who's doing the record keeping, I just keep that blank from month, time to time. I'm keeping.
Yeah, if you wanna keep it blank for yourself, that's fine, but yeah,
Right, so
yeah.
we may be able to cut down there too,
Right.
unless it's something I'm keeping
Yeah.
better records on.
But yeah, that's something that we did talk about. We just said we're just wasting money and
Those
paper.
are available too within that secret document package that I had sent to everybody.
Yeah, there's blanks in it.
There's a part two short form and a long form.
Yep, they're online. They're online if you want it from DEC. They're right there.
Yes, Cindy?
Yes, so I don't know if Mike still does it at the village, but we used to have in a plastic cover, a short form, and then there was also in plastic cover for each member, a long form. So that if you are not physically marking those forms, then those forms were just distributed each evening and were reused, each time we had a short or a long form.
Just to read the questions.
Right,
Yeah.
just so that you can review through it. I'm keeping notes if anyone else wants to keep notes, or if Carlo is keeping notes, that's fine, but for the most part, if most members are not making notes, that those could be distributed for each seeker, as long as it doesn't offend anyone.
I'm good with that.
Or at least as a reference.
Yeah, doesn't offend me.
Just so that you're following along.
Right, the findings of the negative declaration basically itemize every one of those questions and what the responses were. Those are your findings.
Yep, yep.
So I would prep it and have that here, each
Sure.
meeting for the members. That's
Good idea, yeah.
And, I mean, I'll bring up, while we're talking about the other thing that we're moving towards quickly. 90% of the projects that come before the board, unlisted actions. Two things. It's a short form and does not need to be coordinated. So there's not going to be a 30-day wait coordination. It's an unlisted, short form. This board can open seeker and start going through the questions. We don't have to wait the 30 days because it's not coordinated. Type 1s will be coordinated, but there's only, there's a list of what those projects are. This board, it's rezoning, major subdivisions, those types of things. But most of the commercial projects and single-family lot splits are all unlisted actions.
It's mandatory is declared the lead agency by the town board and county referral. Subdivision is required, subdivision and special use require public hearings. And of course, type 1s are a coordinated review where you must wait that 30.
Ed, speaking of coordinating review, I don't know that a lot of the board members were here when you were talking about that before the meeting, but if you want to just brief them on where we think we might be going?
Well, it was a question, and I didn't say anything just because of what Mike was talking about, building permit issue. It's a question for you, Matt, if you want to be the gatekeeper on Department of Health approval, Erie County Water approval, DOT approval. I was saying, until we see them, why refer for approval? I mean, that makes your job easier. They're coming in, it's all done.
Sanitary discharge is a permit requirement regardless, so we have to
Right.
identify how we're going to deal with sanitary discharge. Water supply into the service makes a difference, but because it is a site plan
Issue.
or a part of the site itself, the hot box all day long, that the drawing, the approvals from the county, is there enough flow? Does the occupancy require a pump or a fire suppression? So it all works together.
I mean, because from an engineering approval perspective, I can easily hold my engineering approval till I see all those other approvals. And just say, I'm not giving you my approval because I don't have the other agencies' sign-offs here.
So when we're talking about building permits, it's pretty clear what has to, what needs to be addressed.
So it's either making Matt the gatekeeper and making sure all those boxes are checked, or we switch that and it doesn't get approved until all those boxes are checked, then it becomes easy on your end.
Well, as we discussed earlier on, I mean, these agencies, some of them won't issue the permit until the approval happens, right? DOT?
Right, I'm not so much worried about the stamped approval as like a letter from DOT that says, your plans are good.
Yeah, and even Erie County Health, when you look at a septic system, they're just acknowledging receipt of the design drawings. That's enough, as long as we know that it's going to be a private on-site disposal system.
But like,
Tap permit, one or the other.
yeah, I mean, because as a potential, like this site has septic, I mean, Erie County could come back and say, we don't like the location, change it. Then the site plan changes.
Mess up their limits of disturbance.
Right,
Again,
it would
the
change everything.
disturbances are,
Yeah, it would change everything.
Like I said, one blade wide of a bulldozer, 50 feet, triggers that stormwater permit, and that's outside the limits for it. Pavement road.
It's east of
Is that the
pavement.
boundary?
It's east of pavement, yes.
Yeah.
So, that's, like I said, I have no issue incorporating it into the engineering approval side, outside of what I normally look at, which is stormwater, grading, and that kind of stuff. You just make that, hey, that's great, all this is, stormwater's fine, grading's fine, however, I want to see this, and this.
I think a lot of the issues that we're finding later on in life, after 3, 5, 7 years, a lot of the covenants that had not been filed, that should have been filed. That's an everyday discussion with private homeowners, with retention basins, stream beds that pass through properties, things of that nature. You get map cards filed and plans approved, but nobody knows what to do with the facilities because it wasn't filed in the deed 3 to 4 owners later. They think it's okay to just fill in the hole in the backyard and use it for a parking lot. Oftentimes it hurts. The Tool Ranch project is a prime example of that.
Okay, anything else?
I just want to mention, I got a letter from the town highway wanting me to sign off on an easement for them to come through and dredge the creek behind my house, and I'm not going to allow them. Until they show me they have a degree in stream geomorphology and they know what they're doing, they're not coming through. Nope. So, oh well.
Dredging is what,
They want to make a trapezoidal sluice.
it's a different discussion.
Yeah, but I just wanted to say, so should I be in jail? You'll know why I didn't come.
You're not laying down in front of a bulldozer, are you?
Pardon?
You're not laying down in front of a bulldozer, are you?
Not yet.
They don't have permission to come through. There's no right of way. There's no drainage district. There's nothing on my deed or on my survey. So when there is, you have enough troubles. But you have an access point, an approved access point. But in the older developments, or not developments, just street, off the street, it's tough for the town to do drainage maintenance, but there's maintenance and then there's destruction. So when you talked about the blade of the bulldozer,
So do we have to establish a bail fund?
you may.
All right, I move to adjourn. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
I don't know why they're coming through. They didn't have a time frame. They had sometime in 2023.
I know that issue. It's a town ditch, and that's,
It's actually north branch of Slate Bottom Creek. It's the north branch of the north branch of Slate Bottom Creek. It is not a town drainage ditch, and there's no right of way.
there's no, that's the problem. The town has about, I don't know, I'm at 300
Get a hold of Chris.
Oh, yeah.
Goes back to the 50s. We have a map. They're all labeled and numbered. But no, there are no easements, there are no,
There's nothing.
there's nothing.
There's nothing. So it's a pain for them to have to get approval.